So while there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach to trust-based philanthropy, there are a core set of values that drive the work of many funders that are committed to the trust-based journey. So these values reflect a lot of the core values that drive the work of the funders you'll hear from today, and also is represented in a lot of you all who are listening in today. So while you may not use these values verbatim, these are kind of some of the fundamental sensibilities and ethos that drive this work. So we're talking about working for systemic equity. That means that we recognize that we operate within an inequitable sector. We operate within a white dominant society. And if we truly want to advance equity and justice in our work, then we have to intentionally embed that value in everything we do and how we show up. That also includes redistributing power, recognizing that when decision-making and control is held in the hands of a few, it makes it almost impossible to address the scale of the issues that we're dealing with. And as we all know, with the pandemic, that really came to light for many of us, that we must redistribute power in order to meet the urgency of the moment. And that translates to just everyday life as well. That also requires us to center relationships, recognizing that relationships are currency. If we want to get anything done in the world, we really lean on quality, healthy relationships. So what does that look like to center those relationships within our work cultures? It's about partnering in a spirit of service. So shifting away from the traditional compliance culture of traditional philanthropy and approaching that relationship between funders and grantees as true partnerships, where as funders, we see ourselves as stewards and partners as in service of and service to the leaders on the ground and leaders in the communities. And that includes a sense of accountability, recognizing that our work is ultimately accountable to the people who are leading the work and the people in the communities we intend to serve. And thinking intentionally about checking ourselves each step of the way when we reinforce these old paradigms of being accountable to the funds and the endowment and the board. So how can we think more expansively about our accountability in the context of the work that we're doing and the values that fundamentally drive our work? This is also about embracing learning. So a trust-based approach recognizes that no one person has all the answers. We must be open to learning and evolving and growing in the work and embedding that kind of learning stance and learning culture in everything we do. So this work exists across 4 dimensions of philanthropy. Many have heard a lot about the trust-based practices. So that's like the bottom left corner, what you do and how you show up as a grant maker. And in this petal graphic on the screen, you see there are 4 petals. Each petal is an expression of the different dimensions of our work. And the values are a circle in the middle, reinforcing that values should drive all 4 aspects of our work. So upper left corner is culture. There's a reason why we kind of put that at the top, because culture is your organization's general way of being. It's kind of like it's the ethos of your organization that scaffolds so much of the way we're able to show up in practice. Structures are another core dimension of a trust-based approach. Those are the actual, like the bones and the calcifications of how we do this work. So it's hierarchies, systems, protocols, policies, technologies. And we'll be talking about that in our 3rd session. And finally, leadership is a key dimension of trust-based philanthropy. Leadership plays a key role in upholding organizational values, embodying and embracing, how this shows up in org cultures, and setting the tone for our organizations and how we show up and how we do the work. So this is, we're really thinking expansively beyond just grant making. Trust-based philanthropy is way more than giving multi-year unrestricted funding. It's about using these values to drive so much of our work. And then a big part of our work becomes checking ourselves against those values along the way.